Hello, everybody. Welcome back to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham, and this is Birminology. Today, we are talking with Ohio State 2023 safety target, Joenel Aguero, who has returned from Columbus after making his most recent and probably most important visit with the Buckeyes. We're going to have Joenel on to talk about that trip, his recent trips to SEC country, and what's next in his recruitment on the latest edition of the show. Let's get to it. Joenel Aguero joins us fresh off his visit from Ohio State. Joenel, thank you for taking time. Big trip for you, right? I mean, the Buckeyes have been in that conversation for 3 years now, and we talked about it on your last time on the show. This time's different. It's a new coach recruiting you to Ohio State, Eliano, the safeties coach. What's it like meeting a coach for the first time that you've just talked to, like basically on FaceTime and Zoom over the last few months?
Yeah. I mean, it was good meeting him. You know, he's a really nice guy. I like him. My family likes him a lot. You know, I like him a lot. It was good just meeting him, to be honest. Like, just seeing him in person and actually being able to meet someone that I'm talking through the phone with every day. So it was definitely like a good time meeting him. Me and my family enjoyed it a lot. Sure.
I'm not going to ask you to talk too much about Matt Barnes, who was recruiting you for Ohio State for 2.5 years up until he moved on to Memphis to be their defensive coordinator. But how is it different with Eliano? I mean, I've heard from talking to Caleb Downs, I've talked to a few other safeties around the country, that the connection's been, I don't want to say surprisingly good, because he's obviously really good at his job, but what does he do different that makes this connection and this relationship sort of stand out?
Yes, sir. I feel like my connection with Eliano was kind of way better now that, I feel like he's not just a coach, he's like a mentor. So he doesn't just try to recruit you. You know, he wants to like knowledge you. He wants to, just teach you things and, just be there for you whenever you need somebody. So I feel like that's what kind of makes the relationship a little better, because he's also not just trying to recruit. He's trying to just build a personal relationship with you. So I feel like that's kind of why people be saying that.
You made this trip with your mother, with your younger brother, right? I mean, how important was it for you to have the whole family there with you to let them see Ohio State and to maybe give Ohio State a chance to get back in this race? Because you've basically been living in the South for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in the South more since you stopped going to IMG than you were when you were there.
Yes, sir. I mean, it was good, having my family up there. My dad also came along with us, but it was definitely good. They enjoyed it. They love it up there. They love Ryan Day, all the coaches. And I know my little brother was having fun out there. He was getting a little crazy. They had to control him, but the staff was taking care of him. But it was fun. They all liked it. They loved it. So, it was just definitely fun just having the family around and, looking at a school that I'm potentially thinking about going to.
How different is Ohio State right now? I mean, again, you spent in the last month, you've been to Florida, you've been to Georgia, you've been to LSU twice. You were in Georgia again in January. I mean, what does Ohio State have to do different than those schools? Because I know the type of player you are. I know in your mind that you think the SEC is where you're going to win national championships. And maybe that's fair. Maybe it's not fair to rule out entire conferences. But what does Ohio State have to do differently to get you and your family to say, hey, you know what? That is not the most important. What's most important is this.
Yeah, yes, sir. I feel like they don't really have to do anything too much different. I know Ohio State, it's a great program. I feel like, but for me, though, it's just development. Wherever I go, I want to be developed by the best coaches. And obviously, Ohio State has some coaches. They have Eliano, then Coach Walt on for the DBs. So I feel like that's really big to me. I wouldn't really say like it has to do with the conference or anything, but development is definitely key for me because, my goal is to be in the league. So I feel like those coaches can get me there. And obviously, Coach Eliano just did it with his 2 DBs. One just won the Jim Thorpe Award. So, I feel like that's really my big thing.
For Ohio State, it's obviously not just a new safeties coach in Perry Eliano. It's not just Tim Walton replacing Kerry Combs at corner. It's also Jim Knowles taking over as the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, and a guy that is a little bit different. He's a little off the wall at times from what we've heard. I mean, what is your impression of Jim Knowles, and what did you get a chance to sit down and talk to him about this weekend? Because I imagine for you, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but you probably are saying, how can you prove to me that this defense is going to be better without actually being on the field yet?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Knowles, I like him a lot, to be honest. I love the way he coaches. I kind of like that coaching, the way he coaches. I love, like, how much he loves the game, to be honest. And we were just sitting there going through plays. He was just showing me how, they kind of wanted to use me. I feel like, the way he wanted to use me and, like, just everything was just perfect for me. Like, it fits me. So I feel like he's just a great guy all around, and he has a plan for me. And I feel like the defense is going to be way better for sure.
He mentioned in a press conference with the media a couple weeks ago that this was going to be a safety-heavy defense at Ohio State. Clearly, they're recruiting you, Caleb Downs, Malik Hartford, another guy, Jaden Bonsu, was in town with you this weekend. They're looking at a lot of the best in the country. Is there any sense in your mind like, hey, if I want to be there, I need to get a spot? I mean, is that in your head at all?
I mean, no, not really. To be honest, I know I'm better than all these safeties in the country. I don't really look at them rankings or nothing like that. I know my style of play, and I know that wherever I'm going, I'm not really worried about the depth chart, nothing. I'm really just worried about the development piece and, a coach that's going to, help me become a better man in life. So I'm not really worried about none of that. I'm just really worried about being developed.
As you're there this weekend, I assume you're hanging out talking to some of the current players. I mean, guys like Ronnie Hickman, sort of that similar role, I think, that they see you in, what Ronnie does there.
Yes, sir.
What has he said to you about the difference in this defense from December to now?
They told me that, there's been a lot of changes, but changes in a good way. The coach seemed more invested, and, they seem like they want the team to win more. It's just starting to be like all come together now, and they practicing every day. So they tell me it's way better than before. So that's definitely like something to look at. For
you, you're there on campus. A lot of Luke Montgomery's there to hang out with you. I'm sure he's one of them. I don't know if Sonny made it over, but I mean, those guys are guys you build a relationship with for a while now. How different are those relationships than, say, with commits down at Georgia or LSU or Florida? Is it different?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a difference. The commits at Ohio State in my class, we already had the relationship before they even committed. So, now they're trying to recruit me to go to Ohio State. But I feel like, our relationship is good. I talk to Sonny like once in a while. We talk about, school, whatever. But I feel like the relationship is definitely good. And, that's a big factor also because, I want to go to a place where, I feel comfortable around the guys and the coaches and the environment. For you, being a guy from the Northeast, we've talked about the relationship with Ryan Day and what he's bringing to Ohio State from that area. I'm curious, and maybe this is just me creating a narrative in my head, but Ohio State lost to Michigan in November, and you haven't been back there since. You had never been to campus or talked to Ryan Day prior to losing to Michigan, or before when that ever happened. Was he different this week? Was there a different? No, I don't think he was different. I think he was kind of the same. Like, he wants to get that back. He wants to get that game and beat the team up north even more now. So, I feel like he hasn't changed, to be honest.
Joenel, your recruitment, I mean, heck, going back to last September, there was talks about Joenel's going to commit. Georgia's, everyone still has Georgia 96% on the RPM, the on-3 RPM, which is not a crystal ball. It's more about how many visits you've taken and, that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
What are you still waiting for, and what do you still need to find in this process to say, hey, I'm done with it?
I feel like it's just time, to be honest, because I had to sit back and really think about it. Like, all these coaching changes, it's kind of just happened like this and snap of it. So, like, it was kind of hectic for me. And I was like, okay. So I really just got to take a step back and really see, not only just the coaches there at the school, I got to fall in love with the school, not just the people who are there. So I feel like that's why I kind of pushing it back a little bit because, all the coaching changes and everything.
Is there, at this point now, again, you've been to LSU twice. You've been to Florida and Coach Raymond there, who is recruiting you at LSU. Yeah. Georgia has a new defensive backs coach. Everyone's changing coaches all over the country. You've made these trips. I know there's still a potential to take a Texas A&M trip coming up for you that you're talking about.
Yeah, I believe, yeah. Yes, sir.
What is the ideal for you now? I mean, is this like hey, I'm just going to screw it. I'm taking 5 officials in the summer and then I'll decide? Is it maybe you figure it out before then? I mean, how do you want this to play out from here?
As of right now, I'm just thinking about taking at least a couple of my officials before I make a decision. You know, that's what me and my family talked about. We just like think that that's the best decision for me. So I have more time to think. So I have like till December. So I feel like that's what I'm gonna do is just probably take my officials this summer, and then I may end up making my decision.
Is it? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
safe? Is it safe to assume that Ohio State and Georgia are getting 2 of the official visits, no matter what?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Anyone else that's on that list?
As of right now, I don't really know yet. I'm still going through that, like with my parents and stuff. But yeah, them two for sure.
Are you tired of hearing about you're going to Georgia? I mean, let's be honest. I know how much. I know that the crystal ball and
Yes, sir.
the entire world around the crystal ball drives you guys crazy.
Yeah.
How does it change how you guys handle the media? This is just now I'm just spitballing, but like,
Yeah.
how does this adjust, or how does this force you guys to adjust how you deal with people like me?
I mean, I feel like, like the crystal balls and stuff. I mean, it's just some they do, but I don't really think it doesn't really frustrate me or anything. I feel like that's their job, that's what they're gonna do. But I don't know. I just sit back and just I know where I'm thinking about going. They don't really know. They just kind of assume based off something. Because sometimes I'll be showing some school love I might not go to. So I just like to, keep it in between so people don't really know where I'm going. So you just never know, to be honest.
Well, I think that feature, the crystal ball, when it came out, it was groundbreaking. It's changed the recruiting game in a way, but I don't think there's ever been a feature that fans like more, that players dislike more than that feature, because you do have, like, you want to have control over your story and your future. And I guess, that's the nature of the beast we're living in. But is there at this point any chance you get back to Ohio State before the official visit, or is this like kind of one of those trips that, like, now I know for sure I'm going back there in June and we'll just play it out till then?
As of right now, I don't really know, but if I do get an opportunity to go back up there before I take an official, yeah, I'll definitely be doing it for sure. Yeah.
Last thing, and I'll let you get out of here because I'm already running longer than I wanted, and I told you. But
that's all good.
How did Ohio State present name, image, and likeness opportunities to you? Because I know from talking to you in the past, and this is the way of college football now, but the Buckeyes need to have a way to compete with some big picture stuff in college football.
Yeah.
Is that something that they tried to show you, like, hey, this is what's coming here? Because there's all this talk about collectives and all that, but what are they telling you as a top 50 recruit in the country that the opportunities are?
I mean, Ohio State has like #1 NIL, in terms of everything. So I feel like they just telling me, like all the business opportunities I'll have if I go there, all the big people I'll meet, just help me along the way. So I feel like, it's a factor, and it's good for me to, like, hear that, because, other schools may not have the same opportunity than Ohio State. So I feel like it's definitely good that they mentioned that and they talked to me about it.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us here at Lettermen Row about your visit to Ohio State. I will let you wrap it up here. That's Joenel Aguero. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.